Hi, Lauren. I'm so happy that you reached out to me via Instagram because I've been writing a lot about the challenges with dating in our everyday life and especially right now. So I'm so happy that you're taking the time to be completely open and vulnerable with us on your new virtual dating experience.
Hi, Melinda. Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely love your content. It's always encouraging and gives a fresh perspective on stuff that's super prevalent.
Oh, well, thank you so much. So let's kind of dive right into it. You know, a lot of us are doing social distancing and self quarantine, and this is a
hmm
really high anxiety time for a lot of people. This is all completely new to us, and we're not really sure what our new norm is. Tell me where you are mentally that you're also taking on the challenge of going on first dates virtually.
Sure. Well, I feel like dating in general can take a lot of energy. So, with this extra time that I've been given, I feel like it's a good opportunity to really consider the people that you're talking with. Um, And I mean, usually it'd be ideal to be out in public meeting somebody organically, but I feel like with everybody staying at home, a lot more people are jumping onto the dating sites because it's the only option.
It's a really good point, right? We're kind of at home, and if we're not currently in a relationship, maybe thinking about being in one. So, right
Mhm.
now, what media platforms are you using to meet people?
Sure. Well, there's the typical social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and I usually have a pretty good rapport with followers and things on that. But I feel like dating is a little bit more specific. So I would say reaching out on those platforms aren't exactly ideal versus a platform where somebody's clearly saying, hey, I'm looking to have these types of conversations. So I decided to join one app. I figured one was enough. I don't want to get bombarded with too many different platforms or interfaces. So I chose Coffee Meets Bagel. And the reason I really like that one is it gives you a very limited amount of people that you can interact with at a time. So it's not this, you hear a lot of people swiping. There's no swiping involved. You put what your preferences are. And I would say that's one of the pros. Obviously there's cons of online dating, but one of the pros that I've noticed is I want somebody to share my same faith and my love of travel. So because those are things that I absolutely know are deal breakers, I can have that as a filtered system. And I feel like people know or they don't know what they believe is their faith and if they do not like to travel. So that's helped me narrow down, okay, the people that I'm talking to already meet this requirement.
There, you've completely identified your non negotiables and being completely upfront with yourself and with the person so that they can know if they're a good fit for you. That's a great way to kind of have that few seconds of judgment of this, if this person is even applicable for me. So you have gone on virtual dates. And if you read my post, I'm all about creating that emotional connection. Can you tell me what that was like, um, going on a first date, talking to, the person, but also talking through a computer screen, what that connection felt like?
I would say for some people who aren't good at phone conversations, this has got to be very difficult. But I happen to enjoy talking on the phone in general. So adding a face to it is so much more personable. And you get to see a little glimpse of their life that you normally wouldn't on a first date, too. Maybe you're sitting in a living room or an office and you get an insight into one of their personal spaces. But the conversation I feel like is very similar to being out. Yes, perhaps you're more comfortable because you're in your environment, and maybe being out in a foreign environment would put a different pressure or a different fun too on a situation. But I feel like the conversation aspect was very smooth and pretty thorough. The part that I wasn't able to distinguish was there a romantic connection? Because I feel like there's something that happens with the energy of being personally there with someone that was missing.
That is such a great point to bring up, right? Because so you felt connection, but was that connection like the romantic side of versus
Yes.
connecting with a friend? That's a really great point to bring up. So, what do you think about the two, dating in person or dating virtually? Was dating virtually more awkward?
Ooh, awkward. That's a good word choice. Well, I will say I put on shoes. I tried to make it as normal as possible. So I feel like if you set yourself up to do everything like you would normally, um, and this will give it away to who's ever listening, but he put on cologne.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, so we really got prepared for this conversation, for this meeting, which I felt like was really special. Um, Awkward. I feel like the opposite. I feel like online dating removes a lot of the potential awkward candidates because you already figure out over the first few times talking with somebody if you're going to have something to talk about.
Brian, I guess it puts out less of a time commitment if you truly do meet up with them versus when the check comes, if you're going to dinner or something.
Yes.
So I have a lot of conversations of people who get a lot of anxiety about a first date for whatever reason that is. But a lot of the reasons people are, I'm a little nervous because what if they go in to kiss me, or what if they expect sex, or what if they try? Now, doing that virtually, all that pressure, I can imagine, was removed. But what was that experience like for you, knowing that the physicality of the option of a first date was removed?
Yeah, and I am on the more conservative side, so I would say not exactly a pressure and anxiety for me, but it is a tricky thing to navigate. At what point I would feel comfortable adding in physical intimacy. So I think that this will allow me to have conversations and really know if I'm connecting with someone. And then after all of these, we finally get released in however amount of time, and you get to go on that real in-person first date. And maybe there's a little bit more of a foundation versus just being present with a stranger.
It sounds like you guys got very intimate, even just about how you got ready. It seems like he shared with you, he put cologne on. I'm not sure if you shared with him that you had heels on.
Yeah, I do. I really like that aspect of it. I do think that when it's an intentional conversation like this, it's much more conducive to somebody who's really trying to vet out if you're talking to your future partner versus somebody that's just looking to have a good time or go out or just chat for chat's sake. I'm not on the dating app to go have a good time. Hopefully that's a byproduct.
Exactly. So, will you be going on more virtual dates?
Yes, I actually have a social distancing walk scheduled. So I know every state's a little bit different right now, but where I am at, we're allowed to do outside activity for our physical health. So we are going to take a walk slash little hike. And I feel like that's going to be nice. I was like, what, do I smile and then put this mask on? That part's going to be a little bit awkward.
Wow, but I guess making the best out of a situation. And you're quarantining alone in your apartment, right? Did I get that correct?
Yep, I am solo, so I'm not here with roommates. So I really feel like it has been a nice extra blessing to have some personal conversation, people who are invested to getting to know you. That really has been a refreshing thing. But I will say there are a lot of ways to make it fun. Like there are games that you can play online. Like there's this one with Mad Gabs. You could do charades, Pictionary, and you can even get creative if you're going to do an at-home date. Maybe you send your date a bottle of wine via one of the delivery services. Or if you're not wanting to disclose your address, both pick a restaurant. And if you're wanting to be chivalrous, he can call ahead, pay for the meal. You can call and give the address, and then you can like share the same meal or something.
Wow. And wow, what a energy to put into it, but such a way to feel intimately connected with somebody in a way that we've never experienced. Well, I think this is amazing. You really opened my eyes to so many ways that we can emotionally connect with somebody while we're social distancing. So thank you so much for taking the time to share with myself and my viewers about how to stay connected, because we cannot get through this quarantine alone. We really have to use our support systems. And if we don't have somebody, look at all the people out there that are looking to meet maybe as a friend or to even meet as an intimate partner. To be continued. But Lauren, thank you so much for taking this time.
Thanks, Melinda.
Bye.